Welcome, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. I have never been a great drawer, but I saw a post on Facebook a couple of weeks ago where they were showing how you could teach kids to become better drawers. And as I was looking at that, I thought I needed to apply that to myself. So I've been doing daily videos on my Facebook page where I've been sharing my learning to draw, but rather than drawing with pencil or paper, I am using EQ8. In this video, I'm going to share drawing a horse. In the blog post, I have given you a link for a drawing tutorial on how to draw a horse. So I would start by printing that off and using that as a guide for drawing. So I have opened my Critter Motif project and I'm going to select Design a Block from Scratch. Select New Block, Applique Motif. And in the Precision toolbar, change the block width and height to 12. Set the snaps at 4. And for snapping options, have on Snap to Nodes, Auto Join Segments when drawing, and also Height Show Autofill on closed patches. Select the Draw tool followed by Freehand. The Freehand tool draws in one continuous motion, creating multiple Bezier curves. So I will drag my mouse to draw the head. Because I didn't pause as I was drawing, I have just one Bezier curve. So to add additional ones, I can double click to add another node. Now I can move that node and I can reshape each of the arcs. So if I want more arc segments, I will double click to add another node. This first node is a smooth node, so when I move one handle, the other one moves as well. If I switch to a corner node, each handle will move separately. I can select my head segment with the pick tool and move that to the left. The Draw tool and select Freehand again. Notice that when using Freehand, if we release the mouse, we will create a node at that point. Clean up this segment by selecting it with the Edit tool, which will engage the handles that can be adjusted, or the arc itself can be moved. Then repeat using the Freehand tool for the back side of the horse. Select the Edit tool and clean up that segment. I will continue to play with the segments and the handles until I find something that I think is visually appealing. Now select the Draw tool and draw the left side of the body. Select the Edit tool to do cleanup. I decided that I wanted to break that head segment into two pieces. One is just going to end up being embroidery or quilting. And so I'm going to double click to create an additional node. Then I'm going to click away and I'm going to click directly on that node I just added and select Break at Node. Now I can drag the node from the body to the head and they will now be connected. With the Edit tool, we can also move that other line segment even though it is not part of the filled shape. Use the zoom tools to adjust your screen and move to the lower half. Select the Freehand tool and start by drawing the left side of the front leg. Release and draw the bottom, and release and draw the right side. Note that every time I release my mouse and re-engage, I add an extra node. Then with the Draw tool followed by selecting Freehand, draw the back leg for the horse. And I'm going to select that segment with the Pick tool and just move that leg a little bit farther to the right. With the Edit tool, clean up the nodes and arcs. Then select the Draw tool and select the Bezier curve, and you can use that for drawing individual arcs. Now we have completed our first shape. Let's draw the two other legs that are going to go in back of this shape. Select the Draw tool followed by Freehand, and the focus this time is on the left side of the leg because the right side is going to go in back. Now the fact that this shape wasn't filled in means that I have an open space. And so I'm going to use the edit tool and I'm going to clean up some of my lines and arcs, and I'm also going to move those first and last nodes so everything connects, and now I have a filled shape. Select the segment with the pick tool and select Send to Back. Now use the freehand tool to draw the second rear. I can switch to the line tool to draw that last connecting line because it is going to be behind the larger shape. Select the edit tool and clean up the segment. Select the segment with the pick tool and select Send to Back. Now let's work on the hooves. This time select the Bezier curve, and we're going to start and stop as we draw a series of short arcs. Select the edit tool to clean up the arcs. The hoof with the pick tool and select clone, and you want to actually select it 3 times, and then move them roughly over the other feet. Zoom in on each foot and use the edit tool to clean up the hooves. I have some extra segments, and so I'm going to turn off the autofill so I can better access and adjust the legs so that they are fitting under the hooves. Before I do the tail, I want to move all of my shapes over. So with the pick tool, I'm going to drag a box to select everything and then just move it to the left. Select the draw tool followed by the Bezier curve, and I'm going to do 2 curves, and they're both going to be S curves, one for each side of the tail. Select the edit tool to clean up the curves. Then select the draw tool with the Bezier curve and draft an ear. Select the ear with the pick tool and select clone followed by Send to Back. And I can select the center, those crosshairs, with the controller command key. That will engage rotation. And so I can rotate that. Then select the draw tool with the Bezier curve and draw a series of short segments for the mane. If the nodes don't connect, use the edit tool and just let them snap into position. For the back of the mane, use the draw tool and select the line tool and connect the first and the last pieces of this patch. Select the mane with the pick tool and select Send to Back. Select the edit tool and clean up the mane. Then select the draw tool followed by the Bezier curve and draw a little patch of mane between the ears. Select the edit tool and clean up the arcs. Next up, the eye. Zoom in on the face and select the shape tool followed by the circle. Now the circle is really small, so what we're going to need to do is actually draw a bigger circle. Then drag a corner with the controller command key on your computer to make it smaller. Select it with the pick tool and select clone. Drag the sides without the controller command key to change the size of the shape to more of an ellipse. Then with the edit tool, double click to add an extra node, and we can use that node to create a little bit of a cutout for a nostril. Now I did find that I needed to change the nodes to corner so that both handles could operate independently. Select it with the pick tool and move it on the face. Select the draw tool with the Bezier curve, and now we're going to draw the mouth. The mouth will not be a filled patch, but will be either embroidery or quilting. Select the color tab followed by fabric tools and color the horse. Then select thread tools, and I'm going to select a black, and I'm going to do a style of straight and the weight I'm going to change to the heaviest weight. And I'm going to click on the two lines that are not filled patches. Now I think I want to move the nostril over, so I'll go back to Draw and just select it with the pick tool and move it, and then go back to Color and I will select Add to Project Sketchbook. Thanks so much for watching. For additional tips and techniques, please subscribe to my weekly newsletter at www.onpointquilter.com.